Hey, Marlene, can you hear me okay? Like, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay. I'm just wondering if I'm too far away from the mic. Awesome, thanks. Welcome to 3 o'clock SOC. Give me a moment to invite our Spanish-speaking guest. Bienvenido y gracias por ver 3 o'clock con SOC. Si quieres acceso al programa en español, por favor, marque ese número que aparece en la pantalla, cual es 646-649-3122. Cuando le conteste su llamada, marque 779-328-221. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of 3 o'clock with SOC. My name is Andrea Rodriguez. I'm the leadership coordinator for Southside Organizing Center. I just let all of our Spanish-speaking guests know that we do have an interpretation line to translate into Spanish. The number can be reached in our comments, and also grateful we have help from Travis Hope giving us our comments today, and also Marlene Zoran, our public health coordinator, is doing our production today. So very grateful for our team. We also wanted you to know that you can access all of our videos through SOC's Facebook page and also on our YouTube channel. I'm really excited about our next video. I had the opportunity to interview Leana Yang. It was my second time interviewing her, and she is just a wealth of knowledge. So grateful. She comes from Hawa, which is the Hmong the Hmong American Women Association, and she's the Outreach and Education Director. And we recently spoke about AAPI Heritage Month, which is Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Such a great topic that we had. We're going to go ahead and share that with you now. Just give me one moment. Hello, my name is Andrea Rodriguez. I'm the Leadership Coordinator with Southside Organizing Center. Today I'm joined from Leana Yang from Hawa. I'm so grateful to have you here. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yes, hi. Hello, everyone. My name is Leana Yang. I am the Outreach and Education Director here at the Hmong American Womens Association. My pronouns are she, her, hers, queen, anything said with love. Thank you so much for having me on here.
Excellent. We're so grateful to have you back today. Why don't you go ahead and remind our viewers a little bit about what Hawa actually is? Just need to unmute.
Sorry, yes. Technology, we're learning the nuances. But yes, so first and foremost, the Hmong American Womens Association, we are proud to be the only Southeast Asian woman, queer, femme-led, grassroots social justice advocacy organization here in Milwaukee, and where our mission really lives is that how we're really organized and dedicated to the liberation. And we really center and uplift like leadership of Southeast Asian women, girls, queer, and trans people so that they can champion gender justice and collective liberation, because at how our collective liberation is tied to the liberation of Black, Indigenous, other people of color, queer, and trans liberation. Excellent, thank you. And Southside Organizing Center is so grateful to partner with Hawa, especially in civic engagement opportunities for our residents. And you are so right about this empowerment work. And we're, again, just so grateful to have you on the South Side near us. Why don't you go ahead and let us know, we're celebrating, this month is May, AAPI, which is Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Let us know about that and what we can do to celebrate along with you all. Yes, thank you so much. Yes, first and foremost, I just want to give a big shout out to all of my Asian American Pacific Islander folks out there. It's an awesome time to really celebrate and embody our roots, our culture, our language, our food. And so I am, first and foremost, I just really want to give that big shout out to all of my brothers and sisters out there. First and foremost, when you really think about like the Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month, it's really important that you really understand the journey that really brought Asian folks here, the journey, the history, and really the value of family in our culture. And it's awesome because this is why our collective liberation is tied to Black, Indigenous people of color, because we all value one thing, and that's family, and that's community. And so understanding that when we say like, oh, our collective liberation is all value very similar things, right? So that's definitely one thing that I will say, and not just because it's the month to celebrate, but something I always say is that just because it's the month to celebrate, this is something you should always acknowledge and move through your life with. And also understanding that as we're celebrating this, there is so many queer and trans women and girls, folks out there that felt like they've been pushed out or detached from their community. So oftentimes out here celebrating it, right? We forget about the most impacted who felt like they've been pushed out, who felt like they've been detached, to remind them that just because you've been pushed out or felt like you don't belong, or a sense of belonging, right? Especially queer and trans people, to understand that your roots is so much more stronger than what everyone else is telling you. So even if you feel this way, that deep down inside, your roots remain strong. Your roots remain in your culture, and no one can take that away from you. So even if patriarchy and all these systems try to teach you these things, just remember to unlearn, unshift, and remembering that deep down is your roots. And in that,
no one can take that away from you. So as we're celebrating this, I also want to remind folks to think of the ones that has been pushed out or has been told that they're not Asian enough or that they don't belong in this community because they look, talk, and love different. And just to remind them that it's not that you portrayed your community or portrayed the Asian American Pacific Islander heritage, but is that you just portrayed all forms of patriarchy and all system that has continued to fail you. But deep down in your roots is that you're still culture, you're still you, and you're still this beautiful Asian American Pacific Islander person.
Beautifully stated. And I'm so grateful right now that, our Latinx community is definitely partnering with Hawa and the AAPI community. Also, what you stated earlier about, the Black community and also the Indigenous community, all of us coming together to really support each other and break out of this colonistic mind frame that we've all been stuck in. So I always have such powerful conversations with you, Leana. I'm so grateful for that. Why don't you go ahead and let our viewers know how the community and allies, what we can do to uplift, support, and fund and donate to Hawa?
Yes. So oftentimes folks feel like they are like, well, I'm an ally. I show up. I'm an ally. I support. I show up. But to be part of this movement and to actually create an impact, you need to find it deeper in you. So it's more than just showing up, right? Because when you show up, you're giving us this quantity of community power. But what are you doing when you're out of that space? Are you having these conversations with your friends, your family, your colleague? Are you challenging folks in your community who might not see our values in a line? Are you challenging them to really see this in a different point of view? And so that's what I mean when they're like, oh, we center, we uplift. It's like, but are you actually having these conversations outside of the movement? After you come and show up and protest about Black liberation, are you challenging your family member that might not value with you to have these healthy conversations for folks to at least start thinking, right? So it's more than just showing up in the space. It's what you actually do with that piece when you leave the space. You actually have to take that with you. And so I really want folks to really hear me when I say that. Because in the Southeast Asia community, there's really not this gray space where women, girls, queer, and trans folks can hold these kind of conversation, right? Or stories share around like sexual assault violence, domestic violence. We did not grow up in our household, right? And when I say we, I'm talking about our Black, Indigenous people of color. We didn't grow up in our household in which these kinds of conversations around the different forms of violence that show up in sexual assault was the conversation we had at our dinner table, right? We're already coming to the States constantly thinking about surviving. How do we survive? How do you go to school and survive the system, right? But one thing that folks forget to realize is that sometimes it's hard to survive if you don't have the access, the support, the love to fight through all forms of violence that oftentimes women, girls, and queer and trans folks experience, and they don't have to. So when thinking of all these things about uplifting support, when I say we are the only Southeast Asian women, girls, and queer trans focused organization here in Milwaukee, it should light up some awareness like there's only one. And yet Milwaukee holds the highest population of Southeast Asian first refugee and first generation. And yet we are the only one that's working on this social work. So how can you turn to an organization to us and say, what does it mean to support an organization like Hawa if I genuinely care about the safety of women, girls, and queer and trans folk? If you genuinely care about those safety, if you really want to see a world free from violence, then you will continue to uplift and support our work. You will continue to have these kind of conversations even outside of work. Because for a lot of us here at Hawa, this isn't just a regular 8 to 4 job. Even afterwards, we're constantly moving and living our life through our values, right, here at Hawa. So when we say, oh, these are our values, we're not just talking about our values that we uphold here at Hawa. We walk with these values even outside because this is our life. We are the most impacted. We are lived experience. Therefore, this is our value because it actually aligns with how I show up as a mother in my household, as a queer femme daughter in front of my parents. So we actually have to walk with these values. And if you genuinely believe our value in uplifting and centering, right? Women, girls, queer, and trans folks, if you value the collective liberation that is tied to the liberation of Black, Indigenous people of color, queer, and trans folks liberation, if you are committed to move and organize our work in alignment with Black women and Black trans women's leadership, if you are invested in the transformative healing, right, that empowers our women, girls, queer, and trans people to thrive and be of change, because it's really our people, right, Dre, that's going to really make a change. So if you genuinely are committed to that and you hear me today, then really go back and tell yourself, am I showing up in the way that I'm supposed to, that is really making an impact, right? So in order to do so, you constantly have to uplift our work, be invested, connect with the community that's already living and thriving, that's trying to mobilize, get to know some of your organization and your community, get to know what you value. And then find the organization that's local that you can really invest your time in, because by you showing up and they're really moving in that way, now that is how you really create a transformative healing that really empower us, you know? So really connect with communities, organization that's local to you, get to know the people around you. And we're living in this world where we're learning virtual, we're learning everything online, we're learning everything through social media. But when you take that all away, how are you really building with folks in space? How are you really building this relationship? You know, I know, Dre, you and I were always constant connecting on SOC, right? But we're friends on social media. If you got something I want to share, if I would have something you want to share, and that's even through social media, that's community building. We're living this pandemic, but how are you still pushing that work through platforms, right? How are you, when you see folks in space, how are you building that relationship? How are you getting to know their history, right? And with that together is how you really uplift this kind of work. That's really how you really do it. Okay, I want to really uplift Hawa. Okay, but do you know us? Do you know the work we do? Do you know our value? Does they align with yours? Because if it does, then you can really uplift us in a very natural and a very unapologetic way.
I love that. And I love how you're talking about being authentic about this effort and making sure that if you're going to commit, that you're getting to know. And you were very clear already, Queen Leana, that we are, you know, Hawa has an open door policy. This is a safe place. This also reminds me that I need to have a follow-up conversation with you to get Hawa representation at our next Empower meeting, which deals with street-based sex trade. And we would love to have that voice there. We'll talk about that later. I could talk to you about a lot of things, I'm sure. So, and for viewers, if you don't know, we are going to be having Hawa and Leana coming on once a month. So we'll be doing a series. We're very excited about that partnership, and with a lot of great topics to talk about to make sure that all of our viewers really understand all the amazing things that Hawa has to offer. Donations to Hawa. Why don't we talk a little bit more about that?
Yes. So even though we had to really mobilize our community and work together through this pandemic last year, something that Hawa is that we're really pushing for a new building so that we can have something that belongs to us. And so what does it mean to give something to women, girls, queer, and trans folks that belongs to them? And with that, what can we do with it, right? Because we are the natural caretaker, the natural healer of our community. We're really looking for a space in which it's can serve a bigger capacity to really mobilize community. And so something that I just said I had unstable, but something that folks can do is you can go onto our website. We are super easy to find. It's literally Hawa, HAWAMKE, which means Milwaukee.org. That's it. And on there, you can actually find more information about Hawa, the work we do. We understand that folks are more visually appealing. So we do create a lot of video content, allowing folks to watch and view to really fully understand our work, because 100% of donation and funds that falls into Hawa's lap goes all back to the community. So we actually, every time we get donations and funds, for example, our community closet is community funded only and fundraising only. With that, we give all of that back to our community for free. And it's basic needs stuff, which really blows my mind. It's basic needs that actually helps our community get from point A to point B to survive. Can you imagine a family without toiletries, right? A family without food, without clothes, right? How do you send your children off to school if you don't even have enough clothes to hold them for that whole week? And so that's really what we're really trying to push out. So you can really go onto our website. We have donation apps on there. If you're on Facebook, follow us on Facebook. We are super active on our Facebook because a lot of our community member lives there. On there, you can also donate, uplift, and share our work. And again, all proceeds goes all back into our community.
I love that. And although this is a pre-recorded interview, we are going to be putting in links to the Facebook page and also to your website. I know we had some other contact information. Why don't you go ahead and say those to viewers, and we'll make sure that we link that as well when we air this live.
Yes. So because we provide direct service, we have a team of cultural experts that works with Southeast Asian women, girls, queer, and trans folks who are most impacted, who has experienced or still experiencing domestic violence and sexual assault. We also have a legal team to really help navigate that piece to ensure that we are keeping our clients safe. You can contact our office for any support. If you're watching this and you're like, I really want to collaborate with Hawa, then our office hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. If you or someone you know is in need of our direct service and advocacy work, we do have a 24-hour Moan family straightening helpline. I know you all will put this on the screen, but it's 1-877-740-4292. Again, because we are moving in a trauma-informed way, if you cannot call that phone number, and the best and most safe way to do so is via text. You can also text that 24-hour helpline as well. Our phone number is also open to the community. Anyone that's watching this, you can call us again at that same hour, 8 to 4:30 at 414-930-9352. I wish it was like one of those TV things where it just like pops up as I'm talking.
We will be showing that live too. It'll look like that when we do air it. We have that magic with our producers.
Yes, thank you. And then obviously emails, I respond best with email. You can also email to our staff email, which is just literally staff@hawamke.org.
Beautiful. We're so excited. And I am so grateful that we get Queen Leana every month going forward. And we'll possibly have other team members coming on as well, so we can highlight their program areas, because we want to make sure all of our viewers understand what a wealth Hawa is and how grateful we are to have them as a community member and a partner. Thank you so much. We look forward to having you on soon. Gracias.
All right. Thank you so much again to Leana Yang from Hawa, again, giving us a little overview about AAPI month, which is celebrated in the month of May. We're so thankful to have Hawa as a community partner here at Southside Organizing Center. We love doing collaboration work with them, especially for our civic and census engagement. And yeah, we look forward to having them on again later on next month. They should be coming on, I think, the 4th Friday of every month. So very excited by that. We're going to go ahead and have on our public health coordinator, Marlene Zaran, and she's going to talk about COVID-19 vaccination location mobile clinics and also our COVID committee.
All right. So quickly, I want to go over some of the locations that you can go to now to get your COVID-19 vaccine. You can go to these 3 libraries. So the Zablocki Library, the Washington Park Library, and the Mitchell Street Library. The Zablocki and Washington Park Library are open Monday 1 to 5 p.m. and Wednesday, Friday 12 to 4 p.m. And the Mitchell Street Library is open Tuesday, Thursday, 12 to 4 p.m. So then I also have walk-in clinics that you can go to. So these walk-in clinics are the Wisconsin Center and the Northwest Health Center and the Southside Health Center. The Wisconsin Center is open Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. And then we also have the Northwest Health Center and the Southside Health Center that are open Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Tuesday, Thursday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. I'd also like to invite you all to join our next COVID-19 committee. Our next COVID-19 committee will be on June 26th. So we hope you all can come join us at 1 p.m. Essentially, in the last meeting that we had with the Southside Organizing Center members and neighborhood members, we sat down and brainstormed some different ways that we can try to create some unity within our community regarding COVID-19 and people getting vaccinated during this time. Some of the ideas that we came up with included having a protest. A mural. Sorry, protests are on my mind recently. Having a mural about those that have passed due to COVID-19. Another one is a vigil. So having a vigil for those that have passed away due to COVID-19. And not only that, these in-person events will not be starting until about July for SOC. In the meantime, other ideas that community members came up with included webinars. So having webinars online through our Facebook page to try to educate anybody that has questions on the COVID-19 vaccine or how they work, where they can get their COVID vaccine and how they can register for their COVID vaccine. Yes, so that being said, that is all that I have for you guys for today. And I'm going to give it back to Andrea.
Thank you, Marlene. We always appreciate your updates. Every single episode of the forum, you can get a COVID-19 update. Also, very excited about these this committee that we have that Marlene facilitates for us. A lot of great ideas are coming out of it. And if, again, like Marlene stated, that you would like to go ahead and get any updates, we can have her put her email in the comments, and I'm sure we can have her reach out to you whenever. But besides that, it looks like we're coming to the end of our episode today. Monday, we will not be with you. We will be observing Memorial Day, and it's a day that we will be honoring those that have died while serving our country. So we will be having instead an encore episode for you. I'm sure Gabe Charles will have a very, very great episode, something with a lot of information. So feel free to tune in still. On Tuesday, our youth will be here doing their youth day. We're excited for that. Wednesday, Alan will be interviewing Diaz Bautista from ALAS. So excited for her to return. And then on Thursday, Marlene is going to be interviewing someone from the Department of Health Services. And then next week, Friday, we have our very own Travis Hope. He's going to be talking about our SOC's reckless driving grant that we were just awarded and the plan that we're going to be doing that with Southside residents. So excited for that. We appreciate you all. Be safe, mask up. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Has this live forum been informative and useful to you? What part of the forum could be improved or changed to make it better? Please take our quick survey that's located in the comments section so that we can keep 3 o'clock with SOC going for residents. Thank you for tuning in.